Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk about something that most of us were taught never to discuss in polite company. It's a topic that for many men of our generation was filed away decades ago, filed under youthful things, or maybe even things to be ashamed of. I'm talking about masturbation. As we get on in years, it's easy to assume that part of our lives is completely in the rearview mirror. We have other concerns: our health, our families, our finances. But what if I told you that completely turning your back on this natural, private act could have real, tangible consequences for your quality of life right now? What modern science and a lot of quiet wisdom are telling us is that our bodies, even in our 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond, still benefit from this personal attention. This conversation isn't about recapturing youth or chasing thrills. It's about something far more important: health, function, and staying connected to the one thing you have for your entire journey: your own body. In this video, we're going to explore 6 specific changes that can occur when older men stop masturbating. We'll go beyond the surface and look at the why behind each one. This isn't just a list. It's a roadmap to better understanding yourself. So, I invite you to stick with me. The last point in particular touches on something profound: our sense of self and our place in the world as we age. This is a conversation about dignity, self-awareness, and aging with quiet strength. There is no shame here, only knowledge. Let's begin. Number 1, your pelvic floor muscles can weaken. Let's start with a piece of physical anatomy that most men never think about: the pelvic floor. Imagine a small, strong hammock of muscles at the base of your torso. This hammock is the unsung hero of your core. It supports your bladder and bowels and plays a critical role in both urinary control and sexual function. Like any muscle in your body, from your biceps to your calves, the pelvic floor thrives on use. When it's not activated regularly, it can weaken and lose its tone. The specific, rhythmic contractions that occur during an orgasm provide a unique and targeted workout for these muscles that you just don't get from walking or other daily activities. When these muscles slacken, you might start noticing things you dismiss as just getting older. Perhaps a small leak when you have a good belly laugh at a family barbecue, or when you cough or sneeze. Maybe you find yourself planning your errands around where the nearest restroom is, or your sleep is constantly interrupted by the need to get up. For a fellow like John, a retired school teacher I know, it started with urgency. He felt he couldn't hold it like he used to. He chalked it up to age and prostate. But a part of the puzzle was that these supportive muscles had simply fallen out of shape. For some men, this can eventually lead to more significant incontinence or contribute to difficulties with erections, not because of a primary issue, but because the foundational support system has gone dormant. The good news is that these muscles can be strengthened. It's about proactive maintenance. Just as you might have a routine of stretching your back in the morning, staying connected to this part of your body's function is a way to maintain your independence and comfort for years to come. Number 2, reduced blood flow to the genital area. There's a well-known principle: use it or lose it. This applies to our minds, our muscles, and yes, to this part of our bodies as well. When a man stops masturbating, one of the most significant unseen changes is a gradual but steady reduction in blood flow to the genital area. Think of it like this: your circulatory system is a smart delivery service. It sends oxygen and vital nutrients where they are needed most. When an area of the body is regularly stimulated, the body gets the message: hey, we need to keep the roads open and the supply lines strong to this region. An erection is essentially a massive, temporary boost in that blood flow. When that stimulation stops completely for months or years, the body gets a different message. This area is no longer in active service. We can reduce maintenance. The intricate network of blood vessels can become less responsive, and the tissues themselves can lose some of their elasticity and sensitivity over time. This is a process known as atrophy from disuse. The effects are subtle at first. You might notice that sensation isn't as sharp as it once was, or that arousal takes longer and feels less urgent. This isn't just a physical change. It eats away at your confidence. It can make a man feel out of commission, which can affect his willingness to pursue a new relationship after losing a spouse, or just make him feel less vital in his day-to-day life. This isn't about performance. It's about function and health. Keeping those pathways active sends a biological signal that this part of you is still alive and well, which contributes to your overall sense of vitality and wholeness as a man. Number 3, hormonal shifts and changes in mood. Let's talk about the chemistry of how we feel. Our moods, energy levels, and motivation are heavily influenced by hormones. And sexual release, even through masturbation, is a key event that helps regulate them. Think of it this way. Testosterone is your get-up-and-go fuel. It's linked to muscle mass, energy, and a healthy libido. Dopamine is the job-well-done chemical. It's part of the brain's reward system, giving you a sense of satisfaction and motivation. Oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, promotes feelings of calm, contentment, and connection. When you engage in self-pleasure, your brain releases a cocktail of these beneficial chemicals. It's a natural reset button. When this regular release pattern disappears from your life, the body's baseline can slowly shift. This isn't something you'd notice overnight. It's a quiet tide going out. You might find yourself feeling more sluggish, even after a full night's sleep. You might feel a low-level irritability, where small annoyances, like traffic or a slow line at the grocery store, feel disproportionately frustrating. Many men write this off, saying, "Well, I'm 75, of course I'm tired." But what if it's more than that? What if your body is missing a key piece of its own self-regulation puzzle? Some research suggests stable testosterone levels are linked to better cognitive function in older men. That feeling of staying sharp. By maintaining this private practice, you're not just addressing a physical need. You're participating in a hormonal cycle that supports your mood, your energy, and your mental clarity. Number 4, increased risk of prostate congestion. The prostate is a small gland, but it plays a big role throughout a man's life. And it's a part of our health we need to be mindful of as we age. One often overlooked aspect of prostate health is a mechanical one: the need to regularly clear out the fluids it produces. Your prostate's job is to produce seminal fluid, and it doesn't just stop doing that because you've stopped being sexually active. Think of it like a tiny, efficient factory that keeps running. If the goods it produces are never shipped out, the warehouse gets backed up. This buildup is what's known as prostate congestion. For some men, it leads to a dull, nagging ache in the groin or a feeling of pressure or fullness that they can't quite identify. It can also exacerbate urinary issues like a weak stream or difficulty starting. Now, it is crucial to be clear, masturbation is not a cure for prostate cancer or serious conditions like BPH. You must continue to have regular checkups with your doctor. However, some researchers have compared regular ejaculation to flushing the system. It helps clear out old cells and secretions, which may contribute to a healthier prostate environment overall. Consider it proactive maintenance, like changing the oil in your car. It's a simple, private act of self-care that supports the natural function of your body and can potentially help you avoid discomfort down the line. It's not a substitute for medical care, but a smart part of a total health plan. Number 5, more emotional tension and irritability. For many of us, especially from generations that were taught that boys don't cry, expressing emotion was never easy. We were taught to be the strong, silent type, the rock. But stress, grief, anxiety, and frustration are part of the human experience, and that tension has to go somewhere. When we don't have healthy outlets, that emotional pressure can build up inside. It can leak out sideways as irritability, a short temper, or a general feeling of being on edge. You might find yourself snapping at a loved one for no good reason, or just feeling a constant, low-grade agitation that simmers beneath the surface. Masturbation, in this context, can be seen as a powerful form of stress management. It is a deeply physical process that provides a profound release of both physical and psychological tension. The orgasm itself triggers a flood of endorphins, the body's natural painkillers and mood elevators, leading to a state of deep relaxation. It's a built-in mechanism for letting go. When you remove that mechanism from your life, You lose one of your body's most effective, natural tools for managing stress. Especially when you're older and maybe dealing with more stressors, health issues, the loss of friends, worries about the future. Bottling it all up can be detrimental. This isn't about indulgence, it's about regulation. It's a quiet, private way to hit the reset valve on your nervous system, helping you feel more centered, calm, and resilient in the face of life's challenges. Number 6, feeling disconnected from your own body. This last point is the most profound and perhaps the most important. When an older man completely ceases any form of intimate self-touch, he risks a gradual but deeply felt disconnection from his own body. Throughout our lives, our bodies are our constant companions. But as we age, it's easy to start seeing them as an adversary. We focus on the aches, the pains, the sagging skin, the parts that don't work like they used to. Our body becomes a collection of medical problems rather than a source of sensation, pleasure, and life. We start to feel like a ghost in the machine. This disconnection is a quiet tragedy. It's when we stop looking in the mirror, not out of vanity, but because we no longer recognize or like the person looking back. It's when we lose the motivation to care for ourselves, not just medically, but in the small ways that affirm our identity. Masturbation, at its core, is an act of bodily ownership. It is a potent, nonverbal declaration that says, "This is my body. I'm still here. I can still feel. I am alive." It is an act of being present with yourself in a world that can increasingly make you feel invisible. Removing that practice entirely can reinforce the feeling that you are past your prime or that your body is no longer yours to enjoy, but simply to manage. But this is not about chasing the body of a 30-year-old. It's about being at home in the body you have today. It's about acknowledging that you are more than a patient, more than a grandfather, more than a list of ailments. You are a living, feeling man whose needs for connection, even with himself, are valid. Reestablishing that gentle connection doesn't turn back the clock. It anchors you in the present and affirms your right to feel whole right now. Final thoughts. So, as we come to a close, I want you to take a moment and just sit with this information. Ask yourself, have I been feeling disconnected from my body, treating it more like a problem to be solved? Have I written off feelings of irritability or low energy as just old age without considering other factors? Have I unconsciously decided that this part of my life is over without really thinking about what I might be giving up? This conversation was not intended to be a prescription or a demand. It is an invitation to see your body not as a fading relic, but as a lifelong partner that still has needs and still has the capacity to provide comfort and pleasure. Your health is in your hands. Your dignity is your own. And there is no age at which you cease to be a whole person. Small, intentional moments of self-connection can make a profound difference in your physical health, your emotional balance, and your overall sense of well-being. If this video has given you a new way to think about your health, or simply helped you feel seen and understood, then our time here has been well spent. Thank you for your courage and openness in exploring this with me. We would be honored to hear your thoughts. If you feel comfortable, leave a comment below and share one thing that resonated with you. Your wisdom is valuable. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more conversations about aging with strength and dignity. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.